This is a common kingfisher, one of Europe's most colorful birds. They are small, fast and tricky to capture, but once you get to see them, you won't be able to stop taking photos of them. My name is Adam, and today I will show you how I find kingfishers and how to get as close as possible to one. Don't forget to stick around, as I will also show you how I edit one of my kingfish photos. So let's get into it.
So, this is the first week of June, and kingfishers are starting to be more active. And right now, I'm going back to my usual spot to hide somewhere. And today I will try to approach kingfisher photography in a different way. I brought with me my new tent that I'm going to use to hide myself and hopefully get a kingfisher a lot closer to me than usual.
It's important to think about the photo before you sit down somewhere and wait, because you can end up spending a lot of time waiting for a kingfisher and then getting a bad shot. Look around yourself. Try to look for isolated branches just above the water and consider the light conditions of the scene. It's usually better to keep your subject brighter than the background, so you make your subject stand out a bit more in the photo. Here you can see me picking a bad spot with a bright background, so I decided to move to the other side of the lake to get a better view and a better scene.
He's here, sitting in front of me. He's waiting for a fish, and he will probably jump into the water any moment now. See?
And after he jumped into the water, he flew up and sat on a branch just in front of me, and I was able to get this one single shot.
So, I'm back at my usual spot, and I can already see one kingfisher sitting on the branch right there. There's enough light, and I also got my 1.4 teleconvector with me, which I'm going to try and use today. Yeah, there he is. The teleconvector works quite well, but I still need to get a lot closer. He's still there, but he's hidden. So I'm set up, and now I just need to wait for him to come back. So now it's just a game of patience and persistence. I see him flying around. There is one on my left. I don't want to scare him. I need to slowly move my camera. Look at this. He's right there in front of me on a branch, waiting for a fish to come. You know, this tent really helps with photographing. As you can see, it really helps me get close. You know, when a kingfisher eats a fish, he will sit on a branch, you know, process it, digest it, and then he will, in a couple of minutes, try and throw up the remains of the fish. And he's gone. Phew, that was just awesome. He sat right there. There's less than 4 meters, 3 maybe. And with the teleconvector that I have on, it really made for a nice close-up of a kingfisher.
When it comes to editing, I have developed my technique that I usually follow. I start by cropping my photo. I usually try to follow the rule of thirds, but for this photo I really wanted to keep my subject in the middle. After cropping, I do some basic adjustments. In this photo I want to keep my subject bright and sharp while keeping the background soft and unnoticeable. So I adjust my exposure. brighten the shadows to pull out some of the detail, and adjust the temperature to make the photo feel colder. Don't be afraid to experiment with other settings, that way you will learn what works and what doesn't. When I feel like the overall exposure of the photo is good, I continue with color grading. I try different settings like adjusting the hue of the greens in the background or playing with color wheels to get the colder feeling I want to achieve. Don't forget to remove chromatic aberration by checking this box here. It gets rid of purple and green lines around your subject. The next thing that I do is masking. There are 3 things that I want to do here. Bring out the lighting in the photo, make the subject brighter and sharper, and make the branch less noticeable. First, I mask my subject. Lightroom does a great job of selecting it by itself, but sometimes it needs a little bit of help. After the subject is selected, I increase the exposure while also increasing the contrast, so that the subject doesn't seem that out of place. Then I play with the light. There isn't any specific guide to this since every photo has different light conditions. But overall, I try to enhance what's already there, like bringing out the light behind the subject, or making the subject brighter on the side where the light is coming from. When I find something distracting in the photo, like this border here, where the branch is coming from, I try to make it a bit darker. I lower the exposure to make it look like the branch is appearing from nowhere instead of the border of the photo. Don't forget to try this trick on how to make the subject sharper. I slightly increase the texture and clarity of the subject, but be careful, because these settings are really sensitive and can make your photo look bad if overdone. After I'm done masking, I use Lightroom's denoiser to get rid of noise. In wildlife photography, you often find yourself using higher ISO settings, so this tool really helps. Choose your denoise amount so that there is still a bit of noise left, ensuring your photo won't feel soft and plastic. Next, I open my photo in Photoshop for tasks that I cannot do in Lightroom. Here I'm using an ordinary soft brush with low opacity to paint over the branch. I apply bluish color and do the same with darker and darker shades. If it feels like I have applied too much color, I lower the layer opacity. After that, everything is done. I save my photo and go back to Lightroom. Here I just make some small final adjustments, like tweaking the crop and exposure a little. So the photo is now ready to be exported. Here is the before and after. You can see how much can be achieved with only a few sliders. And that's all from me. Thanks for watching and good luck with your next hunt.